ankle weighted rising kicks, dynamic stretching. In lightness training, within weightlessness training, lightness are some of the more advanced protocols that we have within the process. Now there are prerequisites before people even get to this, right? You got to hit a certain level of flexibility, a certain level of strength before we start to integrate. That helps protect the joints, the muscles, as we start to add those in. But let's say that you're implementing weighted rising kicks. You probably already know, you've trained it sometimes, you feel lighter afterwards, you've trained it other times, you start to feel heavier, stiffer. What's happening? So as the leg is rising, the concentric phase of that movement, if you're doing martial arts, dance, we often know that we need to accelerate. That's the power in the kick, right? If we're trying to kick somebody, we need to go faster throughout the kick. The problem is, once we start to add weight to the extremities there, and we're accelerating into that movement, we're going to more quickly approach the limitation of range in that. So we're going to get that stretch reflex engaged, and that's going to tighten the hamstring, tighten the glute to keep us from tearing our legs apart. This is a big problem, and what happens is as soon as you start to activate that stretch reflex, you can first of all get injured or strained. Second part is when you take the weights off, you're tight. I mean, the whole point of doing this is so that you start to learn to activate and connect with that sense of lightness, that relaxed and fluid movement, right? That's speed. So while we practice kicks maybe full on, accelerating into the movement, when we've got the ankle weights on, we want to reverse that. We actually want to let the momentum of the weight carry the leg to its peak so that our hamstrings, glutes are relatively relaxed. Quads might engage a little bit into the peak to lift the leg, and then what we want to do is pull hard on the eccentric phase of that movement. So this does two things. It allows you to get to the peak of your range without that aggressive kind of forceful push, which allows you to bypass that hard contraction and that stretch reflex. Allows you to get to the peak, the weights are carrying you there, but then you start to engage and tense the muscles at range to pull the leg back down. So this not only improves the height and the fluidity of the movement when you're doing it, it improves your ability to control and contract at the peak of the movement. This is a miraculous hack. As soon as you practice it a few times, you realize when you take the weights off, I feel great. I feel lighter. I can move better, right? You do it the other way and you start to feel tight and tense. So if you guys are implementing this kind of training, now again, in weightlessness, this is not entry-level stuff. This is advanced training. There is risk involved. But if you're already implementing it for your craft, you're practicing those things, make this slight adjustment, right? Use the elastic energy throughout the torso, extend the hip flexor, extend the abdominals, contract at the bottom, tense the quad to lift the leg, and then contract on the way down. So slow up, faster down, and what you'll find is when the weights are off, you maintain that sense of lightness. See you in the next video, guys.